Hey y'all, it's Tasha here, and I don't know if this is a word, but I definitely wanted to get on here and drop a few little things that I have been praying for, and just like how God always just does what it is that He's supposed to do for me, and it just makes me fall more and more in love with Him. And first, I also want to say, and if you're not loving God right now, if you're not madly in love with God, you're truly missing out, because there is no other love like the love of God. There is no other protection like the protection of God. And so, just a topic run. I have been praying for anyone else have a teenage daughter, and I do. I have a 14-year-old daughter. She's about to be 15. And from the age of like 12 to about 15, maybe 16, they go through a lot of changes, and they really are trying to find themselves, their identity. They're trying to figure out what makes them them. And I learned during this season that, one, how important it is to lean on God for this particular season that they're in. But also, two, one prayer, and the reason why I want to share this was because if you are a mother with a teenage son or a teenage daughter, even a preteen, I feel like preteens, they fit into this category, but they're also still not completely there. But it wouldn't hurt to start praying what I'm about to share. I have been praying unwaveringly a prayer that God allows my daughter to see herself the way that He sees her. I've been praying this prayer for my daughter for like a year now. And God had put that on my spirit because I remember it was a very particular time in my life, and I didn't start seeing myself the way God saw me until literally like maybe a couple years ago, and I'm 34. So I just, I take all the lessons that I learned and I pray about them to God for my daughter. But this particular prayer, I just felt like was so important for parents with teenagers, because the minute the enemy can creep in and give your child this false identity of themselves, or our kids spend so much time in school, so we are not their we are not what they're taking up to. They're taking on the identities of other people, their teachers, their peers, their friends, whoever they're on sports with. And we get this little bitty inkling of say-so in their lives, So first, God humbled my heart when she went through this little rough time. He humbled my heart and he really got on me about, I need to pray, and I need to be an intentional prayer when it comes to my child, all of my children. My daughter, particularly in the season that she was in, she was struggling with her identity. She really didn't know what it was or who she was until I was really adamant, and God did His own thing with her. And I mean, drastic, like between night and day. Like the way He communicated with her, He started talking to her. He started putting on the urge of her to read the Bible on her own without me, and just like her telling me certain things God has been saying to her, and like how He would make Himself known to her in certain areas, or in school, because I even got to the point of, when I say intentional praying, I said, God, if what I'm preaching to her at home is not resonating with her, which at that time I didn't feel like it, I said, reach her in school, reach her while she's at practice, reach her wherever it is that she will get to feel your presence on her own. Because I don't know if it's me, or if it's just, oh, that's my mom, X, Y, and Z. She's just saying that because she just, When God got a hold of my daughter and spoke to him herself, she broke down to me and cried and said, Mom, God is really with me. And so, and it changed her whole dynamic. She knew she had someone from a higher up. She knew she had a father who was watching her. And that was the first thing she said. She said, Mom, he made me feel like he's watching me. And I said, because he is. Because he loves you. Because he knows what you're capable of. And he's going to hold you to that standard. He's not going to allow you to fall short. And when she said that, she was literally crying. And y'all, we have to pray intentional prayers over our daughters, over our sons. Because we are living in a world that's teaching them how to worship false idols. It's teaching them how to fall in love with depression and anxiety and how to hate themselves naturally. Like before God got a hold of my daughter, she was always wanting to dye her hair, change her image, try this, try that. And I am nowhere, I am not even a little bit, because I'm not taking credit for this, not even a little bit. Because when God got on me about being intentional with my daughter and praying over her, I was doing it in my flesh. I was raising her in my flesh. And it got me nowhere. Nowhere. Like, nothing budged. Everything got worse. So I had to literally surrender to him, like, God, please. Like, what is it show me what it is that I'm doing wrong. And he was like, not so much you're doing something wrong. You're forgetting a major part of this. You're forgetting a major key to your child's development. And that's me. And that's prayer. So nothing can move, y'all, until we surrender that thing over to God. It's not for us to understand what is going on. It's for us to give our children over to him and let him do a new thing in them. Because the minute my daughter realized, like, God is really watching her and God is literally with her, night and day, y'all, night and day. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I thank God every night thank you for reaching her. Thank you for watching her. Thank you for keeping her. Thank you for showing her what true love feels like. Because my daughter was also at a state where it didn't matter how much love I gave her. She needed to know someone else. Not someone else who she can see and physically, not like that. She needed to know someone else. God loved her. And that he was real. And I think that's what's missing in a lot of our younger kids is they just don't think he's real. I told my daughter, I said, I'm praying for you, but I need you to pray. And I need you to ask God to show himself to you. I want you to ask God to show himself to you. If you don't believe he's real, ask him to show himself to you, and he will. So I just had to get on here to encourage other parents. If you feel like your child is too far off or too far gone and you're thinking to give up hope, or you just don't know what to do, surrender your child over to God. Surrender over the fact that you don't know what you're doing and that you need God. And ask God to show himself to your child. And ask God to allow your child to see them the way that God sees them. Ask God to show your child the love that he has for them. I just wanted to get on here and say that because I feel I have so much mom guilt all the time because I always wasn't walking with God. And so my two older children, they got the before Christ mom, and as as I've been transitioning over the last 3-4 years, they've absolutely got to see a different part of me. But now we have to rewire ourselves. Now we have to show them these different parts, and it's not always so easy, because they were like, well, you used to do this then, and now you're doing this now. So that right there, that little switch and that little switch between those two, that can confuse a kid. And I had so much guilt about that. I'm like, I wish I just always walked with God, so they were just brought up like this, like my younger kids will be. And so I used to carry that guilt around me. But don't let the enemy lie to you and say that it's too late, because it's never too late to give your child over to God, ever. So that was it, y'all. I just had to say that. And the love of God, y'all, is so amazing. There's nothing like it. And I pray that all of y'all feel that. And whoever comes across this video, I pray that you get to feel the love of God. And also pray that your children get to feel the love of God, because there's peace behind it. All right, y'all, bye.